Welcome, everybody. I am so excited to have you join us today for the Business of Courses Bootcamp. Today is the first off training on how to overcome imposter syndrome for your upcoming launch if you're an aspiring course creator. So today I'm going to share with you my personal background on how I overcame imposter syndrome, and I'm also going to share with you 3 useful tips to create an online course even if you're stuck in a rut, feel like everyone out there has a better product, and you feel like you haven't had enough time in the online digital space. So the first thing that I want to do is take you back in time in about 2 years ago, and I was actually on Facebook today looking at my memories and saw an image of me holding some keys to Traverse City, Michigan. And so back 2 years ago, I actually decided to quit my corporate job where I was a corporate trainer and instructional designer. And so essentially what I would do is I would work with bigger companies to create online learning programs. And so we decided to move, and at that point I decided to really just go all in on my business. I just started to start freelancing. I started helping people create online courses. And after a while, I started to see that there wasn't really enough people talking about how to create great content for their online course. Sure, there was marketing people out there, and there was some people also helping with online courses. And so I thought I would bring together 2 types of content. One, how to create awesome content so you can attract awesome students that you want to work with. And 2, how to create awesome content to attract those students in the first place. And so as I was working through the freelancing, I started to build up my freelancing business. I was getting really good at actually selling my services, and I started to book more clients month after month. Eventually, I turned my business from a freelancing business into a full agency, and then it was absolutely exploded. During that time, it was the beginning of the pandemic, and wouldn't you know, I started to book so many clients that I turned my business into an agency model. At that point, I started to actually have about 11 people contract under me to learn how to work with clients, how to facilitate online learning, and also implement the sales and marketing piece. But here's what I think happened that I found was really hard. Number one, transitioning from a freelancing service-based business to an online course business is really hard. And here's why. Because number one, you're still working with clients, and you can find that there's a lot of times when you're struggling to find time to create an online course, and you don't always have the ability to work with someone to do everything for you. Even if you did, there's still some things that you have to kind of learn on your own. And so as I was kind of facing burnout, I started to realize I should start making courses for my business, because one, I'm saying the same things over and over to clients, and I'm finding it very hard to communicate that same thing in a concise way. Number 2, I found that even people who weren't able to work with me because they weren't able to afford my prices were still asking the same questions as my one-on-one clients. So I decided to create an online course, and at the time, it was called the Course Designer's Toolkit. I don't even sell that course anymore. But over a while, I started to work to see what people are asking, how I can facilitate better learning, and how I can actually get people results. Over time, I started developing more and more courses, and it got to the point where I said, I'm not even sure if I want to pursue my agency at this point because I'm enjoying creating courses so much. So I decided to transition all of my courses into a on-demand curriculum, and from time to time, I do host virtual co-working sessions inside of my digital product toolkit and some of my other programs that are more facilitated live. But I decided that, there are many people out there who talk about creating online courses. I know many of you have mentioned to me as students that you've gone through those really expensive programs and you've hired coaches and consultants, you've hired VAs to help you build an online course business, but you're just stuck because it feels like you're overwhelmed, you have too many clients on your roster, and you don't know how to move forward. Well, here's where I'm going to tell you how to overcome that imposter syndrome when you're looking at other people, you're still working with clients, and you don't know where to turn. So the number one thing is I want you to, instead of focusing on creating the perfect course, I want you to start asking your students what they want. I shared with you earlier this month how powerful Facebook and Instagram polls and surveys in general are to actually collect the data on what your students want to create a program that is profitable. Because just because you know it and just because you think that's what people want to buy, it doesn't mean that's what people actually want to buy or learn from you. So the key is to ask people what they want, okay? So write that number one tip down. Write that tip down. The number two thing I want you to do is, before you start building out that 9 to 15 module course, is to actually pre-sell it at a lower price point. So what I do is I actually create on-demand curriculum and I put in the minimum viable content that the course needs in order to launch. And at times, I've actually sold it when I only had really nothing inside of my course platform, and all I did was create a checkout page for people to buy, and people bought. And here's why I know that it's going to sell. Number one, I'm checking all my questions on Facebook. Number two, I look at all the comments and questions. I look at my emails. I have a customer hub of what people are asking me and what people are looking for. So I know when I create a course, it's going to sell. And that's the thing that I want you to do, so that before you create that really big signature course, before you spend all that time on it, start working on asking your customers what they want first. So we are now on number 3. So the number 3 thing that I want you to do is to actually start to market your course before you launch. So one of the things that I do is I create either a opt-in form if somebody is interested in a topic that I'm going to have a course on. 2, I have some sort of related lead magnet. 3, I send out emails to tell people about it. And number 4, I follow up with relevant high-value content via video, via blog posts, via podcasts, etc. So there are 3 things that I want you to take from today's session. Is number 1, you are the answer to your own procrastination. You are the answer to it. Just because you are really busy doesn't mean that you have to stay busy. Being busy isn't the answer. Taking the right steps to create consistent income is. And so that first step is actually overcoming your fear of being so busy that you'll be overwhelmed to, I have a clear and confident path forward so that I can create more consistent passive income with digital products and courses. And yes, passive income is one of those phrases we toss around a lot, but there is a lot of work associated with it up front, and then it starts coming in. The number 2 thing is stop procrastinating and waiting for it to be perfect to launch. You do not have to do that. Start pre-selling your program at a lower price point. You can do that easily by actually sending people an email and giving people an option to pay using a checkout cart like I use, such as ThriveCart. Number 3 thing, again, is to create content that will attract your ideal students and get them excited about your upcoming course launch. Now, you have been wondering yourself, how can I start building up engagement and excitement with my audience? And how can I attract my students? I don't have a big email list, or I do have an email list and I don't know how to convert them, or I am posting on Instagram every single day and I'm not generating sales, or I'm not even on Instagram anymore. How do I get people to buy from me? Well, tomorrow on August 17th at 11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Times, I think that's where it is, we are having a training inside of the Business of Courses membership where I'm going to talk about how to attract your ideal course customers on Instagram. And yes, they are there. I actually did a reel on it this week about how to get those ideas flowing so that when you launch your course, those students are waiting to press the buy now button. So if that sounds great to you, I want you to go ahead and click on the description below, which I'm going to share on YouTube and also on Facebook, and you can join us. It's $12 and you will be able to join all of the benefits, including a 30-minute session with me that is no pitch. It's really just me helping you on how to get started with your online course business. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. That's really all I have for you today. Come join us inside the Business of Courses membership. We are going to be having a blast inside, and I can't wait to see what you create in 2021 for your online course. Take care and let me know in the comments below, which thing will you be doing next to prep your marketing for your course business for your next course launch. Talk with you soon. Take care. Bye.